everyone, it's Ann. I'm here to show you something. Some friends of mine on my Facebook page, as well as on my Facebook group, had asked me to show them how I made something, and I'll show you what I made. And I had posted a picture of it. Hang on a sec. So this is what I made. It was kind of my version of a paper doll for a group that I belong to on Facebook. And so I created one for myself because I loved it so much and wanted to make one for myself, so I did that. And then I posted a picture of it, and people in my group loved it so much and they wanted to know how I made it. So I'm going to show you, okay? So first things first, I'm going to show you how I made the body of the doll. I'm just going to explain how I made it. I'm not going to really go through every single step. But I have a Sizzix Big Shot, and with that I have one of their cutting board thingies. It's called ATCs and Corners, and it's by Tim Holtz's Alterations. And I got it on Amazon. I couldn't find it in the stores, so I had gone on Amazon to look for it because I think I saw somebody else's video a long time ago and saw their cutting thingy for this, and I had to get it. So basically I went ahead and cut out some really nice scrapbooking paper, and it's got a little bit of glitter in it, and I went ahead and glued a playing card on the back of it. Let me show you, hang on, there we go, playing card on the back of it to give it more strength, to make it more sturdy. And then the wings, I have another cutting one here. They're called Angel Wings, and they're by Sizzix. And I also got these on Amazon because it's very hard to find some of the older model Big Shot stuff. So go online or to eBay even, and check out and see if you can find these there. So I went ahead and cut those out, and then I went ahead and embossed them using this embossing folder, and I cannot remember the name of it, I'm sorry. It's part of Tim Holtz's Alterations. And then I went ahead and just grunged it up by using some embossing powder, but I did it in a different way. Usually you put ink for embossing powder, and I didn't do that. Instead I used matte medium and poured the embossing powder over it, and then went ahead and used my heat gun to heat up the embossing powder, and it came out really grungy looking, and I kind of like that look. So this was meant for Valentine's Day, and I didn't get around to turning on my camera and filming this, so that's why it's got a Valentine's theme to it. And the heart is also from a heart stencil kind of thing for the Big Shot, one of their cutting blocks or whatever you want to call them. And I actually cut this out of a tin can. And if you're interested in finding out how I actually make these, I do have a video on my channel, so just go check it out. It should be in one of the most viewed ones, so it shouldn't be hard to find. And I basically embossed the tin can, and then I used one of the heart shapes to cut this out. And then I went ahead and painted it a little bit and grunged it up with a little black paint. And now I'm going to go ahead and glue this on using some tacky glue. And then I'll explain what else I did with this in a minute here. Once I get this on. And this is going to have to dry before I can go to the next step, but I'll probably end up having to use my heat gun. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'll explain what I did down below here, okay, in a minute. So I'm going to set this aside to kind of start drying, and then I'll use my heat gun to finish the rest. So next, I got this clay mold, I think at Hobby Lobby, using a coupon, and it's basically faces. If you could see the back of it, it shows up better than the front. And I got this, it's made out of wood, It's clay made with wood powder, wood shavings, I'm assuming. The translation is off. I got these at Daiso, Japan, and you can see it's in Japanese as well as English, and I think they meant clay made with wood shavings, not wood powder. So it's basically an air dry clay, and when you press it into the molds, it comes out like this. And it looks brown, and it's very light. It's almost like the paper air drying clay. Okay, so I went ahead and I picked out the face I liked the best, and I took a Coca-Cola cap, bottle cap, and went ahead and glued the face in there. But before I glued the face in there, I painted it gold and glued it inside of the soda pop top. All right, you could, if you wanted to, you could probably poke a hole in the soda pop top, and basically run a string through it to hang it eventually, but I found a better way of gluing this on and getting it to hang better. So that's what I'm going to show you next, once I find where I put my card and my thing now. Here it is. Okay. All right. So what I did was I have these little popsicle sticks. They're made by Claudine Helmuth Studios. I got these at Tuesday Morning, like three or 4 years ago. And I thought, well, I'll find a use for them. And yeah, so this is the use I'm going to use for them. So what I do is I'm going to go ahead and glue this on to the back of the card like this, right? Then I'm going to glue the bottle cap to that so that it stays sturdy and it's on there really good. So that's how it's going to glue on. So I just put some glue on the front of this one. If the glue will come out. Sometimes it's not cooperating. There we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this down on my work table, and then I'm going to go ahead and just kind of eyeball where I'm going to put the, I'm going to put the head down first, actually, so that when I put this on, it'll work better that way. You could use a glue gun. I prefer to use tacky glue. It works just as good. And I've not had any issues with it coming unglued. If you dare use a hot glue gun, go ahead. For me, I try to avoid using them as much as I can because I've burnt myself pretty good with hot glue guns. So that's what I did here. And the wings, I forgot to tell you how I connected the wings. I have these little brads, you can see in this kit. I got this whole kit at Hobby Lobby. It's not part of Tim Holtz's alterations. I can't remember the name of it, but it's all where they keep all their metal stuffs like charms and things for altering things with. And so I got this whole thing for, I think it was normally like $4.99 and I paid like $2.99. It was like half off. So that's the time to go, is whenever they put things up for half off. It's another great way of getting these kinds of things. So I'm going to put this aside, and then I'll be back in a while to show you the rest of my steps. Alright, so it's kind of dry. I wouldn't say it's 100% dry, but I'm going to try and go on to the next steps here, okay? So I'm going to go to the next bit, which is the wire and beading some beads on first, and then I'll go to attach my charms and beads to the bottom part, and then I'll finish up with some added little touches here and there, and I'll show you how I've done mine and everything else. So I hope you enjoy my explanation and everything else. So this is jewelry wire, and it's pretty thick. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just sort of eyeball how much I need. How much I want to use so that I can, and you'll need wire cutters for this. So I got my wire cutters right here. And sometimes it takes a minute to get it to click. There we go. To get it to cut. And then you'll need some needle nose pliers or something to kind of grip the wire and bend it the way to how you want it, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm feeding it through the first little hole, and I'll show you how I did that. I've got my dial, whatever you want to call it, by Memory Keepers. It does eyelets, it does little holes, okay? It actually also puts snaps on if you need a snap to be put on for you. It does all of that. So next I'm going to start with this side and bend the wire. This is where it gets a little bit tricky, and you need to have fairly strong hands, which I do not have. So I just try my best to try to bend this around. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to twist this wire, this piece around this piece. That's what I'm trying to do. And I probably should have glued the head on last, and I didn't do that. So I'm kind of getting it started with my fingers, and just be careful because the wire can be sharp and you can poke yourself with it. And it doesn't have to be perfect because this is handmade, and handmade things don't look, you know, exactly perfect, and they don't have to be exactly perfect. In fact, I kind of like the imperfection. It doesn't look like it's been machine made. So I got the one side started here, so here it is. It's not the greatest, but it works. All right. So next, I'm going to string some beads to this side. And basically what you're doing is you're going to have to string all your beads to one side and then attach this onto that hole and then move some of the beads to the other side. But see how it's done here? You're going to have to do it opposite. So this is the way you want it to land on this side, but when you're beading these, you're going to have to do the opposite of what this side is to get it to look right. Okay? So that's what I'm attempting to do right now. So I bought some beads online, and some of the beads, other beads I've actually bought from broken pieces of jewelry at an antique shop. That's a great place to find broken jewelry. A lot of vendors now are selling their stuff in little jars of broken jewelry, beads, things like that, broken beads that have fallen off of other things. And that's just a great way of recycling and using up your stuff. So I need to find my other beads that I wanted to use for this, so hang on a minute. Come on, you went on with that for that one. So we're going to practice with this and see if this works. Yep, perfect. Trying to make it as even as I can. This is the hardest part, is getting it wrapped around without hurting your fingers. There. That's as good as it's gonna get. So then you have a way of, you know, a way of hanging these, hanging it up. It's a little off, but that's okay. That's the way it looks. So next, you can buy pins, bead through your beads, okay, and then you can add charms on the ends, and then you bend the pin down to create a hole, okay. And then what I've done is, they have these swivel thingies. They're called swivel bars, I think. And you can get these, of all places, in Walmart in the fishing area, where they sell all the parts to make handmade fishing lures. This is where you get these. Much cheaper than going to the jewelry section of, say, Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I mean, if you're making really nice jewelry, then go ahead, use that, but yeah. So then I'm gonna feed this through, and what I did is I have an eyelet here, and I put those using my crocodile It's called Crocodile. That's what it was called. And so that's how I did these. And then I just try to feed this through the hole. And it usually works. You just kind of have to work it through here. There we go. And then it squeezes shut. So there's one so far. Now these ones are a little bit different. So you're going to have to get an O-ring to put these on. And you might need a fairly big one so that it goes around the eyelet. So here's some O-rings. And you're going to need some pliers to get the O-rings opened. Okay. And then you need to feed it through this hole. Now sometimes it might not work. You might have to get, yeah, see, it's not working. So that means I'm going to need to use a swivel. Okay, so I'll be right back to get this. All right, I can't find my swivel thingies. I have no idea what I did with them, but I managed to find a ring that was big enough to get around the holes. Next time I need to punch these down lower and insert the eyelets lower, like I did here with these. So yeah, next time. So now I can just feed this through here like this, and then use the pliers to get it to close up. So there you have it for that part. Now I'm going to add some bling. This one didn't quite close very well either. Okay, that's better. Alright, I've got these cute little stickers that I got, I think at Michael's. So there you have it. So I hope that you enjoyed seeing how I put together my little angels, or whatever you want to call them. And I hope that you'll come back and visit. Thanks for watching. Bye. Toodles. Have a wonderful day.